The dancing mermaid. Oh my god, I want to be a mermaid too. Coral the mermaid left the sea. She loved having races with dolphins and sea lions, swimming with schools of shimmering sardines, teasing sharks, and spending all summer splashing in the surf. There was just one problem. Coral has a secret wish. She wanted to dance. Every evening, she watched humans whirling and spinning at a dance hall on the beach. She longed to join in. Coral looked down sadly at her tail. How can I dance without legs? She sighed. I'll give anything to change my tail for feet. As she swam past Neptune's palace, Coral had an idea. Perhaps the king can help me, she darted inside. Coral entered the throne room nervously. Her tummy felt as if it was full of butterfly fish. And what can I do for you? Boomed the king. Well, your majesty, Coral began. I'd like some legs, please. Legs? Repeated the puzzled king. Mermaids don't need legs. Coral told Neptune about her secret wish. At first, he looked doubtful, but Coral begged and begged. Let me see. You seemed very determined about this, he said at last. So I'll grant you your wish for 1 week. But then you must decide. Will you keep your legs or your tail? Coral wanted to dance more than anything, so she agreed. Neptune pointed his magic trident at Coral's tail. A sparkling swirl shot out. Her tail disappeared behind a cloud of stars. And the next thing she knew, Coral was standing on the beach. She tried to run onto the dance hall, but her new legs took some getting to use. After a lot of practice, Coral walked in. The crowd began to whisper, "Who was the beautiful stranger with golden hair?" Soon she was swept off her new feet by a handsome young fisherman named Dan. They spent all night gliding and whirling around on the floor. As Coral did the sailor hop, she laughed with joy. She had never been so happy. She soon found that life on land wasn't all fun. Walking was more tiring than swimming. All the fish were stuck in bowls, and Coral's tail has never felt as sore as her feet. Dancing with Dan was the only thing that made it worthwhile. At the end of the week, Coral told Dan her secret. Then they went to the rocks to meet the king. Neptune rose from the waves. "So what is your decision?" he asked. "Legs or tail?" Coral had missed her ocean home. She missed racing with dolphins and swimming with sharks. But she had also fallen in love with Dan. "Legs," she murmured faintly. The king looked at Dan. "Which do you think she should choose?" he asked. Dan was in love with Coral, but he knew how sad she was on land. "Tail," he said. Coral Coral was heartbroken, but the king smiled wisely. He beckoned Dan closer and whispered another question in his ear. Dan grinned and nodded. "I think I had the solution," said the king, and he lifted his trident. A magical cloud streamed around the pair. The next moment, Coral was back in the sea. She had a tail instead of legs, and so did Dan. "Let's try underwater dancing," said Coral, and they swam off hand in hand. Now that Dan could live in the sea with her, Coral never wanted to go on land again, and all her friends were delighted to have her back. The end.